The story opens with the massive alien fleet emerging from hyperspace near Earth's outer colonies. Captain Jake Miller stands on the bridge of humanity's newest warship, the Iron Will, watching the scanner displays with growing concern. The alien vessels are unlike anything in human records, sleek, organic-looking ships that seem to pulse with bioluminescent energy. Admiral Ross contacts the Iron Will from Earth Command. The aliens call themselves the Helix Empire, and they've sent a simple message to all human worlds: submit or face extinction. This isn't their first conquest. Intelligence reports show 17 different species have fallen to the Helix in the past century. Each civilization lasted no more than 3 days against their bioweapons and neural disruptors. The alien flagship, a massive creature ship called the Death Bloom, hovers ominously above the mining colony on Titan 7. Commander Lisa Wong reports from the colony that the aliens have given humanity 24 hours to surrender all military assets and accept servitude. The Helix believe they know everything about human warfare, from intercepted transmissions and captured vessels from border skirmishes. Captain Miller reviews the data on his tactical display. The Helix ships use living holes that can regenerate, damage bioelectric weapons that disrupt electronics, and worst of all, neural toxins that can control the minds of entire populations. Their confidence seems justified. Every species they've encountered used similar technologies to humans: energy shields, plasma weapons, and computer-controlled systems, all easily countered by Helix biowarfare. But as Miller walks through the corridors of the Iron Will, he notices something the aliens couldn't have predicted. The ship feels different from the sterile vessels of other species. It smells of gun, oil, and metal. The walls vibrate with the rumble of massive mechanical engines. Everything is analog, manual, built by human hands for human operators. The Iron Will isn't just a warship. It's a floating fortress designed with humanity's greatest strength in mind: adaptability through simplicity. While other species perfected energy weapons and AI systems, humans perfected something far more dangerous: kinetic weapons, chemical explosives, and the stubborn refusal to surrender. Lieutenant Tom Blake, the weapons officer, reports that all systems are ready. The ship carries no energy shields that can be disrupted, no computer systems that can be hacked. Instead, it bristles with railguns, missile pods, and armor plating forged from Earth's heaviest metals. The alien bioweapons would find no electronics to corrupt here. As the deadline approaches, Captain Miller receives reports from across human space. The colonies are evacuating, but not in surrender. Every human world is preparing for war. The Helix Empire has made a critical error. They've given humanity time to prepare, thinking it would be time to despair. The story's first part ends with a chilling realization from the Helix commander aboard the Death Bloom. Their bioscanners detect something unusual about the approaching human warship. The vessel shows no energy signatures typical of advanced civilizations. No plasma conduits, no quantum computers, no neural networks. The ship appears primitive, almost barbaric in its construction, but the Helix commander dismisses this as human weakness. Primitive species always fall the quickest. The neural toxins will work just as effectively on simple-minded humans as they did on the other 17 species. The bioelectric disruptors will shut down their crude systems instantly. What the aliens don't understand is that humans learned warfare in an environment where failure meant extinction. Earth's history is written in blood, conquest, and the ashes of fallen empires. while other species developed in peaceful worlds and only learned to fight when they reached space. Humans mastered warfare before they even left their home planet. The Iron Will moves into position as Captain Miller gives his final orders. The crew checks their equipment one last time: mechanical firing systems, chemical propellants, and good old-fashioned steel and lead. The alien bioweapons are about to meet something they've never encountered before. Weapons that don't rely on energy or electronics, but on the pure physics of mass and velocity. As Part 1 concludes, the two fleets face each other in the darkness. Off space, the Helix Empire, with their 17 victories and biotechnological superiority. Humanity with one ship, simple weapons, and an unbreakable will to fight. The aliens are confident in their coming victory. They've done this before, and humans appear no different from the other defeated species. But they're about to learn that some species don't fight with energy and computers. Some species fight with iron, fire, and fury. The stage is set for a battle that will echo across the galaxy, and the Helix Empire is about to discover why humans call their warship the Iron Will. The battle begins at 0800 hours, ship time, when the Helix flagship Deathbloom launches its first wave of bioelectric pulse weapons. Captain Miller watches the alien energy wash harmlessly over the Iron Will's hull, causing no more damage than colored lights on metal plating. The Helix commander, Vex Prime, immediately orders a second pulse, stronger, more concentrated. Again, nothing happens to the human warship. Lieutenant Blake reports from the weapons bay with barely contained excitement. Captain, their energy weapons aren't even registering on our hull temperature sensors. Whatever they're shooting at us, it's designed for ships with electronic systems. The crew exchanges glances of grim satisfaction. Years of human stubbornness in sticking to mechanical systems are about to pay off. Vex Prime, aboard the Deathbloom, stares at his biodisplays in confusion. His neural scanners show the human ship is still fully operational, all crew still active and unaffected. This has never happened before. Every species they've encountered used neural implants, computer interfaces, or at minimum, electronic communication systems. The bioelectric pulse should have fried every circuit and left the crew helpless. But humans developed differently. Captain Miller speaks into a mechanical intercom system powered by compressed air. All stations report, he calls, and responses come back through copper wires and analog systems. The ship's navigation runs on gyroscopes and mechanical computers. The weapon's targeting uses optical scopes and manual calculation tables. Nothing for the aliens to disrupt. The Helix Empire decides to escalate. They launch their feared neural toxin clouds, microscopic organisms designed to infiltrate enemy ships and control the minds of the crew. The biotoxins spread across space, in a shimmering green mist, seeping through hull breaches and life support systems. On 17 worlds, this weapon turned entire populations into mindless servants within minutes. Inside the Iron Will, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Kate Ross monitors the air quality through simple chemical detectors. The alien toxins enter the ship's atmosphere, but something unexpected happens. The toxins, evolved to work on alien biology, encounter human immune systems shaped by millions of years of surviving. Earth's hostile environment. Humans evolved fighting diseases, bacteria, viruses, and parasites that would kill most alien species. Their immune systems are overcharged war machines compared to species that developed on peaceful worlds. The neural toxins, designed for clean alien biology, are destroyed by human white blood cells within minutes of contact. Vex Prime receives reports from across his fleet. The neural toxins aren't just failing, they're being completely neutralized by human biology. His science officers report readings they've never seen before. Human immune systems are attacking the toxins with an aggression level that seems impossible. These creatures appear to have immune systems designed for constant warfare. Captain Miller receives Dr. Ross's report with a cold smile. The toxins are completely neutralized, Captain. In fact, exposure seems to be making the crew more alert. Their adrenaline systems are responding to the perceived threat. The alien bioweapon designed to control minds is actually making humans more focused and aggressive. The Helix fleet launches their third wave. Physical bioships designed to attach to enemy vessels and eat through their hulls with acid secretions. These living weapons have consumed the armor of countless alien warships, dissolving advanced alloys and ceramic composites within hours. The bioships latch onto the Iron Will's hull and begin secreting their molecular acids. But human engineering strikes again. The ship's armor isn't made from advanced alloys or exotic materials. It's made from simple steel, layered and treated using techniques perfected in Earth's ancient foundries. The alien acid, designed to break down complex molecular structures, has no effect on basic iron and carbon bonds. Lieutenant Blake watches through a periscope as the bioships writhe uselessly against the hull. Captain, they're actually wearing themselves out trying to eat through our armor. It's like watching termites try to consume a steel beam. The bar on Station Omega-7 fell silent as Kate walked through the door. Alien eyes tracked her movement across the dim room, their owners whispering in a dozen different languages. The human was small by galactic standards, barely reaching the chest of most species present, but her reputation preceded her like a shadow. Another human, hissed Vex, a tall reptilian trader from the outer rim. His forked tongue tasted the air nervously. I heard they kill slowly. Take their time, make it hurt. His companion, a blue-skinned Alterian named Zol, nodded grimly. My cousin fought humans in the border wars. Said they would wound you first, then watch you bleed out. Called it psychological warfare. Kate heard every word. Her enhanced hearing was just one of many modifications that made humans feared across the galaxy. She ordered a drink from the nervous bartender, a four-armed Kethron, who kept his distance while serving her dot. A corner table, 3 Rozak mercenaries were discussing their latest contract. Their leader, a scarred warrior named Grix, was explaining why they had turned down a job that involved hunting humans. The client offered triple pay, Grix growled, his mandibles clicking. But I've seen what humans do. They don't just kill you. They study you first. Learn your weaknesses. Then they break you piece by piece until you beg for death. His companions shifted uncomfortably. One of them, a younger Razak named Toke, leaned forward. But she's just one human. And look at her size. We could take her easily. Grix laughed, bitterly. Size means nothing with their kind. I once saw a human female half her size take down a Titan-class war machine. Used its own weight against it. Humans don't fight fair. They fight smart. Kate sipped her drink and watched the room through the mirror behind the bar. She counted 12 potential threats, all armed, all watching her. The tension was thick. Enough to cut with a knife. They say humans are slow killers, whispered a trader near the bar to his partner, that they enjoy the hunt more than the kill itself. That's why the Galactic Council banned them from military service. Kate almost smiled at that. The real reason humans were banned from military service wasn't because they were slow killers. It was because they were too fast, too efficient, too willing to do whatever it took to win. The galaxy had learned to fear humans through carefully planted stories and deliberate misinformation. Let them think humans were sadistic torturers who drew out death for pleasure. It was better than the truth that humans could kill with surgical precision and move on without a second thought. A commotion near the back of the bar caught her attention. 3 Vortham pirates were harassing a young Centaurian merchant, demanding payment for protection services. The merchant was clearly terrified, clutching a small datapad to his chest. Kate finished her drink and stood up. The room seemed to hold its breath. "Problem, gentlemen?" she asked, her voice carrying clearly. Across the suddenly quiet bar, the lead Vorthan, a massive brute with cybernetic arms, turned to face her. "No problem, human. Just business. Move along before you get hurt." Kate smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. "See, that's where you're wrong," she said, walking slowly toward them. "I am the business." The Vorthan reached for his weapon. It was the last mistake he would ever make. What happened next would be talked about in bars across 3 sectors for years to come. They would say the human moved like liquid death, that she killed with clinical precision, that she showed no mercy. What they wouldn't say was how fast it really was, because by the time the station's alarms finally started blaring, Kate was already walking out the door, stepping over bodies that were still warm. The room had been cleared in less than 30 seconds. Kate walked through the station corridors like she owned them. Behind her, emergency crews were still cleaning up the bar. Station security had already filed their report, justifiable self-defense against armed pirates. No one questioned a human's right to protect themselves. Not when the alternative was dealing with angry human diplomats. She checked her wrist device. 3 names glowed red on the screen. 3 targets. 3 reasons she had traveled halfway across the galaxy to this forgotten trading post. The first name was already crossed out. Vec the Butcher wouldn't be selling stolen human weapons anymore. Kate had found him in the bar's back room, counting credits from his latest deal. He never saw her coming. Station Commander Roth was waiting for her at Security Central. The old Terran had been running Omega-7 for 15 years, ever since the war ended. His weathered face showed no surprise when Kate entered his office. "Clean work," he said, without looking up from his reports. "Very clean, almost like you knew exactly where to hit them." Kate sat down across from his desk. "Experience. Military experience." Roth finally looked at her. His eyes were sharp despite his age. "You move like special forces, but humans aren't supposed to have military units anymore." "We don't," Kate said. "Officially," Roth laughed. "Right, and I'm just a simple station commander." He leaned back in his chair. "What are you really doing here, Kate? And don't tell me you came all this way just to clean up some pirates." Kate activated her wrist device. A holographic display showed 3 faces. The first was already marked as eliminated. "War criminals," she said simply. "They escaped justice during the ceasefire accords. Someone needs to bring them home. Someone meaning you. Someone meaning the families they destroyed." Roth studied the other 2 faces on the display. One was a Corviny weapons dealer named Dex. The other was human, a traitor named Beck who had sold military codes to enemy forces. "I know these 2, Roth said quietly. "Dex runs a shop in the lower markets. Beck... Beck works for Governor Miles in the administrative sector." "Convenient," Kate said. "Not for you. Miles has private security." Good security. The kind that asks questions later. Kate stood up. Let me worry about that, Kate. Roth's voice stopped her at the door. Why are they so afraid of us? Really afraid, I mean. It's not just the stories about slow killing. There's something else. Kate turned back. For the first time, Roth saw something dangerous in her eyes. Something that made him understand why aliens whispered about humans in dark corners. Because we ended the war in 6 months, she said. A war that was supposed to last decades. The weapons dealers, the mercenary companies, the politicians who profit from conflict. We ruined everything for them. So they made up stories to keep us out of future wars. They made up stories to keep people from asking why we were so good at winning them. Kate left Roth alone with that thought. The station commander sat back in his chair and looked at the security feeds from the bar. Kate had moved through those pirates like death itself. No wasted motion, no hesitation, no mercy. In the lower markets decks, the weapons dealer was closing his shop early. He had heard about the incident at the bar. 3 Vorthan pirates, dead in seconds. Word traveled fast on a station like Omega-7. He locked his door and activated his security systems, military-grade shields, automated defense turrets, motion sensors. Everything a paranoid arms dealer needed to sleep at night. But as he turned to leave, he found Kate standing behind him. Hello, Dex, she said calmly. We need to talk. The weapons dealer reached for his sidearm. Kate didn't even blink. By the time his hand touched the weapon's grip, she was already moving. The conversation lasted exactly 12 seconds. When it was over, Kate stepped over Dex's body and walked deeper into the lower markets. One name left on her list. Beck, the traitor, was about to have a very bad day. Asterisk. But Vex Prime makes a fatal decision. Rather than retreat, he activates his flagship's final system, a bioweapon designed to consume entire star systems. The Death Bloom begins transforming itself into a massive spore factory, preparing to release organisms that can survive in vacuum and spread from world to world, consuming all organic matter they encounter. Lieutenant Blake detects the energy buildup through optical sensors and reports to Captain Miller. The alien flagship is preparing something catastrophic. Readings suggest they're converting their entire ship into a weapon of galactic destruction. The captain's response is immediate and final. Arm the planet killer warheads. Full nuclear saturation. Dr. Ross protests from the medical bay. Captain, those warheads will irradiate this entire system. The fallout will be detectable for centuries. Miller's response carries the weight of human history. Better a radioactive system than a dead galaxy. Some threats must be stopped, regardless of cost. The Iron Will launches every nuclear weapon in its arsenal. Dozens of fusion warheads, each one capable of sterilizing entire continents. The missiles streak toward the Death Bloom as Vex Prime watches in fascination and terror. His bioscanners detect the approaching warheads, but his defensive systems have no protocols for nuclear weapons. The detonations are visible from 3 star systems away. The Death Bloom disappears in a fusion holocaust that turns local space into a radioactive inferno. The bioweapon factory, the spore systems, and Vex Prime himself are vaporized in temperatures comparable to stellar cores. The expanding nuclear fire catches the remaining Helix ships, destroying them in secondary explosions. When the radiation clears, nothing remains of the Helix fleet except radioactive debris and the memory of their defeat. Captain Miller surveys the destruction through his periscope with quiet satisfaction. The mining colony is safe, the bioplague eliminated, and the alien threat ended permanently. Chief Engineer Martinez reports that the ship's mechanical systems are functioning normally despite the radiation exposure. The analog controls and chemical engines show no effects from the nuclear environment, another advantage of simple human engineering over complex biosystems. Part 4 ends with a message from Earth Command congratulating the Iron Will on humanity's first major victory against an alien empire. But Captain Miller knows this is just the beginning. News of the Helix defeat will spread across the galaxy, and other species will learn that humans fight with weapons they never imagined, and refuse to surrender under any circumstances. *3. Months after the Battle of Titan 7, the news spreads across the galaxy through quantum communicators, bioneural networks, and energy pulse transmissions. Every advanced species receives the same impossible report. The Helix Empire, conquerors of 17 worlds, has been completely destroyed by a single human warship using primitive weapons at the Galactic Council Station orbiting Proxima Prime. Ambassador Krell of the Zentari Federation stares at the intelligence reports with disbelief. The data shows nuclear weapon signatures, atomic fire on a scale the galaxy hasn't seen in millennia. Most species abandon such crude weapons before reaching space, considering them too dangerous and unpredictable. Impossible, Krell mutters, reviewing the tactical analysis. Nuclear weapons are unstable, inefficient, and environmentally destructive. No civilized species maintains such arsenals. But the evidence is undeniable. Humans not only maintain nuclear weapons, they've perfected them into tools of precision warfare. Across the galaxy, military commanders study the battle records with growing unease. The human warship showed no energy shields, no quantum computers, no bioenhancements. Instead, it used kinetic weapons, chemical explosives, and mechanical systems. Technologies most species considered obsolete are proving devastatingly effective. Against modern defenses, Captain Miller stands in the Iron Will's briefing room, addressing a group of Earth Command officials through analog video transmission. The ship orbits Earth now, its hull still scarred from the battle, but its crew proud and undefeated. Miller explains humanity's strategic position with military precision. The galaxy operates under certain assumptions, Miller reports. Advanced species use energy weapons, biotechnology, and electronic systems. They've built their defenses around these assumptions. Kinetic weapons are considered primitive. Nuclear weapons are thought obsolete. Mechanical systems are dismissed as inferior. Admiral Ross nods from Earth Command. And those assumptions nearly cost them everything when they met humans. The room falls silent as the implications sink in. Humanity's perceived technological backwardness is actually a massive strategic advantage. Dr. Ross, now promoted to Chief of Xenobiology, presents her analysis of the Helix defeat. Their bioweapons were specifically designed to counter advanced alien species. Energy-based lifeforms, electronic neural networks, quantum computer-enhanced biology. They never encountered a species with our immune system, intensity, or our resistance to biomanipulation. The report continues with sobering details. Human immune systems, evolved in Earth's hostile environment, are several orders of magnitude more aggressive than typical alien biology. Human technology, developed through constant warfare, emphasizes reliability and simplicity over sophistication. Human psychology, shaped by survival instincts, refuses surrender even when facing impossible odds. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, other alien empires receive reports of the Helix defeat and begin reconsidering their expansion plans. The Void Collective, machines that consume organic worlds, analyze human technology, and find disturbing parallels. Humans use electromagnetic pulses that could disable artificial intelligence. They employ kinetic weapons that could shatter mechanical structures. The crystal hierarchy, energy beings who feed on planetary life forces, discover that humans generate a type of psychic background noise that interferes with energy absorption. Human emotions, anger, determination, defiance, create mental static that disrupts crystal feeding patterns. But the most significant reaction comes from the swarm, a hive mind species that has consumed thousands of worlds through overwhelming numbers and collective intelligence. Their analysis of the human battle reveals a terrifying truth. Humans fight as individuals, but coordinate like a hive mind, combining personal initiative with group tactics. Captain Miller receives new orders. From Earth Command, the Iron Will lead humanity's first deep space exploration fleet, carrying human technology and human determination to the far reaches of the galaxy. Other species may have superior individual technologies, but humans have something more: valuable adaptability and the willingness to use any weapon necessary. Lieutenant Blake, now promoted to commander, reports that weapon production facilities across human space are working at maximum capacity. Railguns, nuclear warheads, chemical explosives, and mechanical systems are being mass-produced. Humanity is preparing not just for defense, but for the expansion that other species fear. The story concludes with Captain Miller standing on the bridge of the Iron Will, looking out at the stars with quiet confidence. The galaxy thought it knew the rules of warfare and conquest. Energy weapons against energy shields, biotechnology against biodefenses, electronic warfare against computer systems. But humans learned warfare in an environment where there were no rules, only survival. They developed weapons that work regardless of enemy defenses, systems that function regardless of interference, and most importantly, the determination to keep fighting when every other species would surrender. The last line of the story echoes. Across human space and beyond, the galaxy is about to learn that humanity doesn't just fight to win. Humanity fights to make sure the fight stays won. And in the darkness between stars, other species begin to understand that the age of easy